Okay, that's the audio working, but why isn't VTube Studio responding? Okay, let's see. Are any of the hotkeys working right now? Well, obviously the Stream Deck is working, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to hit live. Even beyond the panel, I can't hear shit. Okay, let's see. Wow, Gandalf was right there. Instantly here. Alright, thank you very much. But why is VTube Studio not responding? Um, let me try something. No, I don't have anything locked in here. Wait, did it default to another video input source? Is that what's happening? Cables are still... now it's working. Did I just have to reseat it? You sons of bitches. Okay, okay. And we're back. Now with movement. Not to be understated. Well, I guess that's what I get for actually updating OBS. I should have known better. The damn thing was functioning just fine. Well would be a strong description, but... functioning again. We will not be pushing that stress again with Monster Hunter Wilds. I recognize that that stream was just kind of out of nowhere in a bad time slot, and I still had performance issues. I don't know how I can make that remotely better on my hardware config. I'm above minimum spec. Granted, I'm not running a 5090 or some shit here, but I shouldn't need a NASA supercomputer when I'm already above spec. Capcom PC optimization. It's, I would say a gamble, but no. New Vegas is a gamble. Capcom PC performance, that's pretty much a guarantee it's not going to deliver. So, unfortunate. I don't have a tremendous game plan for what we're doing today here. I just kind of wanted to yap a bit, vaguely articulate my thoughts in something resembling... what's the word I'm looking for here? Constructive self-reflection. No. I might just be bellyaching about shit that's happening right now. You can still hear this shit. The Velcro, the fucking metal bars. Ugh. I get out of these, hopefully. I'm crossing some fingers here, but hopefully in 5 days, I get out of these damn things. I can use my hands again. Properly. Because I was so masterful in my manipulation of the digits prior. Yeah. I've been having difficulty finding stuff that I can stream while I'm still stuck in these braces. These, what do you call them, softcasts, whatever. It's very easy for me to get frustrated with this situation because all of my interests, whether professional or recreational, I need at least one unrestricted hand for. And I haven't had that in over a month now. I got into a bad habit. I'll admit this. I got into a bad habit of forgetting to play music. Hang on. There you go. I got into a bad habit of taking off these braces an hour before bed. You know, timing it with my meds and all that jazz. And then I would stay up late. Last night I was up till fucking 4 a.m. That is not my normal time. It should not be my normal time. I have prescriptions on a schedule. let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet as well. Hey, Moore, how you doing? I just started the yapping, so I would say you missed nothing of value, but... Oh my god, what time? And you just got my DM. Excellent. Maybe not the content of the DM, however. Some people can tolerate being called a bottom. Other people think they can prove they're a top by bitching and moaning about it. Which kind of reiterates my point. But I digress. I'm just saying how I've been frustrated with my arms still being all bound up in this crap. And hopefully I'll be out of at least one of these in 5 days. Also, just to add, it was meant for Loki, not me. Yeah, I know I've been getting frustrated and not doing the best I should be while I'm stuck in my current predicament. And I'm trying to use... What's the phrasing? I am trying to be merciful with the constraints placed upon me because they are not my fault. Unless you count whatever is my biology. At which point, I could blame my parents. You know, I could blame primates in general. Fuck it. Mammals. Organic life. All carbon-based life. Should have stuck with the silicon synths, the cybernetic superior species. There's always someone else to blame. Exactly. So hopefully I'll get out of these in 5 days, but I realize that I've been very frustrated with my predicament, and as such, it's difficult for me to figure out what I can do properly. I haven't been streaming as much as I want to. Rip wishing and praying for me, thank you. And I've been staying up later than I should, because, again, I got a lot of meds, I'm on a schedule with them. I started taking off my braces an hour before bed in time with my pills and such, and then I would stay up way later than I'm supposed to. Like, for real, I've disappeared, the fuck. I did not mean to. It's, the stuff I want to do, I can't do with my hands like this. Your entertainment's missing. Well, your entertainment's back, and unfortunately, it's going to bellyache in your general direction. I hope you're ready for it. Like, I'm supposed to take my meds and take these braces off an hour before I go to bed. Last night, I stayed up 5 hours later than usual. And that's on top of the hour I was already assigning for meds and brace relief. I don't remember how much sleep I got this morning, because last night would be a strong word for whenever I crash. Insomnia, hey! It's either insomnia or narcolepsy. No in between. I haven't randomly passed out from the antidepressants in almost a week, though, so I think that's a good sign. I'm also out of the damn things, and my psychiatrist won't refill them. I have to get there for an in-person appointment, I think. I have to go back to 2 doctor's appointments next week? Maybe 3? I know 2 at minimum. Oh, don't be so fearful. Yeah, antidepressants. It's nothing big. Would it be any surprise to you that somewhere, somehow, in my head, something doesn't like to be inside my head? It might be my brain. You didn't know I had one, did you? Funny how that works. Yeah, it couldn't just be medical. But hey, at least the autism doesn't have to be alone up there, right? It might just be me myself, because I'm, yeah. And I'll spare you some of the other diagnoses, because, again, I've had professionals weigh in on the subject, and some things are treatable, some things aren't. Other things are making me think I might need to get fitted for a new white jacket with long sleeves. But at least I'm not threatening to bomb a drink supplement company, so clearly there's crazier out there than me. Not by much. But somewhere, somehow. So I got 2 doctor's appointments minimum next week, which means the 8th. Nah, no way. I'm the very craziest. Well, I do dress to impress. I wear my sanity on my sleeve. Hence me being sleeveless. What was I saying? Minimum 2 doctor's appointments next week. I think that's going to lock me out of the 8th. So the 8th would be next Monday? Yeah, next Monday's not going to be able to happen. I have to check on the 9th. DTI mentioned? Listen. I'm already wearing a plunging V-neck. I could probably feed a toddler with a stiff breeze. Me taking it out is not practically showing that much more. And I just got a notification on Twitch. Oh, honey. Oh, please. Do not try to tempt me with that. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to look at it. Yeah, listen, I'm sorry. You're not a sweet southern woman operating a gas station cash register. Don't oh honey me to open it. You're a notification. You should be blocked. Oh my god, I better notify you an hour before I stream between the 17th and 24th. 70. Oh, you're traveling, right. Okay. I guess we'll see what's happening. That's about 2 weeks from now. Exactly 2 weeks from now to start 17th. I can read numbers! These anti-inflammatories ain't shit. And I still didn't get anything for dedicated pain relief, by the way. It's just anti-inflammatories to bring down the swelling. 6 weeks later. Gee, why are you still in pain? I'm actually in slightly less pain in my left arm, if I'm being honest. I feel like if that was a 4 or a 5 going into this, with the cast on for about 6 weeks, it's down to a 2. I still have a lot of clicks and creaks, but you know what? Old machinery sounds like it gets wear and tear after a while. I'm fine with it. If I just have to jangle my spurs for a while and that's all, I can live with it. It's a very minor pain threshold. My right arm, on the other hand, or my right hand on the other arm, I should say, it's like somebody put a nail through my right ring finger. And it carried that sensation all the way from the knuckle to the wrist. And you know, it just slashed me up the forearm as well. Laughs and ibuprofen. What wear and tear, as if I lived. I might be an indoor cat, but that doesn't mean I've been necessarily gently used. I don't know if you heard that click. I'm hoping not. I only have the click in my right hand as well. Like, I could click parts of my both arms, but like there's a part of my right hand. I could try to bring up a diagram, but frankly I don't want to think about it that much. There's a part of my right hand that revolves around the ring finger and the dorsal side between that and the wrist, where it's like a fold. Like, I want to say it's a vein, but I'm just looking at it trying to understand it. It's probably something under the skin clicks over the bone where it shouldn't. It makes a noise, and it happens whether I rotate the joints clockwise or counterclockwise, although it is louder if I do, from my perspective looking outward at it, clockwise. You can't hear, you're blind. Good. Ear blindness will save you. Although if you can still hear me, you need to be blinder. I keep both of my lobes behind my back, but that's my brain lobes, not my ear lobes, so... Deafening is not going to be doing me any favors in this circumstance. Okay. I'm just trying to center myself, find some kind of zen, and then blissfully meditate on strangling a doctor before beating what's left of him with a crowbar. That shit works. Alrighty, can't chat for the time being, having dinner. Alrighty then, so... Maybe I should bring up Fallout New Vegas then. Which, for the record, if I'm going to play New Vegas at all, never mind streaming it, New Vegas is being very New Vegas with me. I've been trying to progress a save to at least level 30, so I can do a follow-up on the New Vegas Clinic run that we did previously. Whether I'm streaming that or not, it does have some priority issues when the window crashes. And I say window very loosely. New Vegas doesn't have a proper windowed mode for Windows 11. So what I have to do is operate under the suspicion that it's just going to crash on me in some way, shape, or form. Which means I need to have a task manager preemptively opened, and I need to make sure it is opening somewhere other than my primary monitor. Because New Vegas, when it crashes right now, it is prioritizing itself above all other contents on its respective monitor. And I play games on my primary monitor. So if I don't have Task Manager already opened up and located elsewhere, I can't force it to close. My command line also opens on my primary monitor by default. So I can't do a manual shutdown with that. I can't get to the Steam manager, or... Everything defaults to my primary monitor. That's why it's my primary monitor. So I can't close it with Steam, I can't close it with Task Manager, I can't close it with a command line. Fuck it, I'm just going to move the Task Manager over to another monitor. I'm going to put it on my drawing tablet off to the side, and if it crashes, then I can force it to shut down. Because New Vegas still performs like, well... I'm going to say it still performs like 2011. 2010 New Vegas was a wild time. If you see the game when it launched, back in... September? October? I want to say October 2010. Because it was like a year and change before Skyrim came out. And Skyrim came out November 2011. Sounds about right, yeah. October 2010. If you think I've got skill issues, go back to New Vegas 1.0. You know what? No. Go back to New Vegas Vanilla. No updates, patches, or anything. Just the on-disc version of it for PlayStation 3. And you know, for extra shits and giggles, put it on a launch model fat PS3. Personally, I think that's a better version of the PS3 than the Slims that came down the line. But that's not due to performance, that's mostly due to compatibility with PS1 and PS2 games, as well as memory card slots. You go back to 2010, play in New Vegas on... It was better on the 360. Not by much, but somewhat. Play it on a PS3. The issues I'm having today are a walk in the park by comparison. It is not even remotely comparable. I'm talking NPCs will have 2010. Yes, I know. AD. You take it, back to kindergarten you go. That was me starting college. I was doing something the other day, and when we load into the game, you'll see it, but it occurred to me that there was a part of New Vegas I haven't played since at least 2015, and I think it was probably closer to 2012. Because I think I was still working on my junior year of college, maybe my sophomore year of college. This is a ways back. It was my sophomore year of college. That would have been 2011, 2012. Junior would be 2012, 2013. Let's just average it out, 2012. There's a part of New Vegas called Quarry Junction. If you're not shitting bricks, then clearly you were not playing with the layman's experience back in the day. And Twitch just crashed. Motherfucker. I see it. It's always got to be fucking something, I swear. Wait, are we still pinwheeling? Why? Oh, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Perfect. What was I saying? Right. Never mind, motherfucker. It all looks okay. Let me know if something else happens. Okay, now, perfect. Right, I was playing New Vegas, and it occurred to me I was doing something in-game that, for a 15-year-old game, I hadn't done it since probably, like, 2012. It was Quarry Junction. And keep in mind, the New Vegas save I'm running right now is my Diplomat character. It's a speech build. It is not meant for combat. Going to Quarry Junction, how do I put this politely? Imagine a bunch of feral leopards decided they wanted to cosplay kaiju. And they had a raging murder boner for anything vaguely player-shaped entering their zone. Again? Motherfucker. Someone at the ISP needs to get the message. If cosplayers can threaten drink companies, I should be able to threaten ISPs. I actually need this. We're back. Okay. Right. Quarry Junction, for those who are uninitiated with Fallout New Vegas, especially when we're talking the original release back in 2010, before any of the DLCs. Quarry Junction was basically the game's stress test for whether or not you actually tried to min-max, or if you were just fucking around. And this is specifically for combat builds. What the fuck cosplayers be doing now? Some Harley Quinn cosplayer was threatening gamer subs, like putting a bomb at their convention stand. And then people were like, oh, it wasn't really a threat. It was just online venting. And, well, you know what? The cops got called. Somebody got arrested. And you know what? I couldn't think of anyone more deserving than a Harley Quinn cosplayer. Because if you're going to act like a mental case, at least you're dressing the part. Crazy shit. Yeah. So Quarry Junction is the violent combat exclusive section of New Vegas from the days of yore. That's why you ain't one of them no more. I tried working in costume stuff once. I tried cosplaying a little bit here and there, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I don't like being in front of the camera. I prefer being behind it. Or at least behind a digital mask. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Right, I keep getting tangented or distracted, right? Okay. Quarry Junction, Fallout New Vegas, 2010. It is just a pit of violence, and Twitch is pinwheeling again, you sons of bitches. I can't flip you off hard enough. Reconnect. Reconnect. I think we're back. Oh my. Oh. I lost count. Is that the third or fourth time this morning? Okay. Yeah, okay. Quarry Junction. It's apparently killing the stream before I even load into the damn game. Does that tell you how violent it is? In my current New Vegas save, I'm running a diplomat. I'm running a character that's there for skill checks and yapping. Sneaking as necessary, but mostly staring at Twitch again, pinwheeling, but it was just for a second. We're okay. We're okay. It's all copacetic. Right. Quarry Junction was functionally the hardest part of New Vegas when it originally came out. Because it's filled with an entire pack of Deathclaws. Pookie, stop disappearing. You're gonna miss me. I'm not leaving voluntarily. They keep trying to drag me away. Quarry Junction is filled with Deathclaws. It's basically if somebody decided, you know what a feral jaguar needs? A scaly cosplay. And while we're at it, we're going to make it bipedal, give it knives for fingers, probably about, let's say 40, 50 centimeters of claw. We're also going to give it devil horns. And you know what, just for fun, they're going to fuck like rabbits. They breed. They spread like weeds, and they never stop showing up. And apparently all of that breeding like rabbits has decided that they inevitably are going to fuck your day up. So, Deathclaws have existed in Fallout since Fallout 1, I think? I think they've existed in every Fallout game in some way, shape, or form, but I don't remember it. I don't remember Tactics or Brotherhood of Steel. I'm pretty sure we've had Deathclaws in most, if not all, Fallout games. But here's the thing. In most Fallout games, it's either turn-based. Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics, turn-based. Think of it like RTS. Or like Tactics, generally. You can see them coming. You can prepare adequately. In Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, Deathclaws are mostly a one-and-done type of thing. They're going to come at you one at a time. It's very rare you find a group. If you go to the Deathclaw Sanctuary in Fallout 3, you're asking for it. Did I make a Twitter post? Yes, it should be up. Yeah, Gandalf shared it, yeah. Ring-a-ding-ding, I'm game for some yapping. With New Vegas as the stage, I still have not pulled back the curtain on that yet. My brain is trying to decompress so I can actually think. What was I saying? I need to defragment my brain. Holy shit. Oh, Twitter, that bitch didn't give you a notification. Well, that's Elon Musk's problem. Deathclaws, right. Basically, a species that was originally evolved from a Jackson chameleon decided, we're just going to turn pure evil and hate. We are going to ruin your day, and we are going to wear your skin like grandma's bonnet in the process. But here's the thing, Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, Deathclaws are turn-based, like everything else in that damn game. You can pace it out. Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, Deathclaws are usually solo predators. Think of them like a lone wolf, basically. Fallout New Vegas, on the other hand, remember that wolves hunt in packs. It played Dragon's Dogma 1. Fallout New Vegas remembered that Deathclaws breed like rabbits. And also, they have a family structure. They're also not fucking stupid, brainless brutes either. So, my diplomat, with virtually no combat investment, decided I had to do the Great Conquest, which usually I ignore the Great Cons in New Vegas. If I'm going to do anything like Oh My Papa, I just install Regis as the leader of the cons. Like, this is the first time in years that I've actually gone through the trouble of tracking down Melissa. Because 3 out of 4 of the people you have to persuade are in Red Rock Canyon, where the Great Cons live. Regis, Jack, and Diane. You have to go out of the territory to do their stuff, but you would find them all easily enough. Melissa, just getting to her is trouble. Because the easy way to get to her involves you sneaking around Deathclaws. That's the easy way. The hard way's fighting them. I chose the hard way on my fucking diplomat. I can't call it a pacifist because there's too many things in New Vegas where non-violence is just a non-option. So my diplomat decided we are going to go the back way through Quarry Junction, which is technically safer than the front. But sneaking up the western encampment still has you passing, depending on the time of day, I want to say between 5 and 7 Deathclaws. 3 of them are adults. I think 3 to 4 of them are young Deathclaws. Young, not a problem. They're annoying, but they're not a problem, realistically speaking. The adults, on the other hand, my diplomat, my dumbass diplomat, you're right. My diplomat is going out there with 2 companions. I have Eddie with the Duraframe upgrade from the Brotherhood of Steel. Oh! Thank you very much more. That sub is much appreciated. It's nice to know that my nonsense is being rewarded. That clearly won't lead to any bad reinforcements. Nope, that behavior is going to be encouraged. Nothing could possibly go wrong with that. My diplomat goes in there. I have the Brotherhood of Steel Duraframe update to Eddie, one of my companions, which gives the little floating Pokeball DT of about 20, I think. And I also have a member of the Brotherhood of Steel, Veronica, because she's the only companion that gets power armor training by default. And considering I was in her bunker for one of her quests, I stole some power armor for her, some T51B. I think I have some T45 as well, but no matching helmet. I put her in power armor. It is the highest damage threshold I can get on a companion. They are both as tanky as humanly possible. And when I walk into a Deathclaw, I try to get its attention. I am trying to piss it off so I can be the meat shield. It will still magnetically launch itself directly at my 2 pack mules, who forget they have weapons. They will just stand in front of it and take damage, and they can die in under 10 seconds. There was one time, I don't know how Veronica did it, but she died in like 3 hits. And this is a base Deathclaw, mind you. Does that scare you, what I'm describing right now? Because there's young Deathclaw, there's a base Deathclaw. Why do you think I'm scared of Quarry Junction? Why do you think? There are Deathclaw mothers. There's only one in the junction, thankfully. But here's the thing with the Deathclaw mother. She's leading, I think, 5 or 6 Deathclaw babies. So not only is she already 30% stronger than a base Deathclaw. You'll act scared even though you don't know what I'm talking about. I'll show you. I'll show you when we get into the game. Not only is a Deathclaw mother 30% stronger than a base Deathclaw, it's twice as big. And every time a baby Deathclaw gets wounded for whatever fucking reason, it gets buffed. And it's surrounded by the baby Deathclaws because it's their fucking mother. So not only do you have, I'm going to say, 3 to 5 base Deathclaws as soon as you get into the junction, You have the Deathclaw mother, another half dozen baby Deathclaws, and here's the thing. Deathclaws are not asexual breeders. There's a daddy. The Deathclaw alpha male. That motherfucker wants to roleplay Godzilla. And I'm Japan. You don't know if you should be intrigued or not. How horny are you? Because his horns are huge. Okay, never mind. No thanks. You sure? Because the breath might be more than atomic. Oh. And keep in mind, that's if I went through the front door of Quarry Junction. I barely got through the back door, fighting 6, 7 Deathclaws one at a time. I think it was 6. One of them fell off a cliff. I didn't get credit for that one. On a scale of 1 to 10, jail. It didn't die, by the way. Just because that Deathclaw fell off of the plateau doesn't mean it took enough damage to die. It just meant it couldn't get back to me. So I think I killed 6 Deathclaws, the 7th went over the edge, and it's probably going to try and get me when I leave. I might live in Quarry Junction now. The Great Khans will accept me as one as their own. Probably not. Oh well. So the young Deathclaws, they're an inconvenience, but they're manageable. With my current gear, my current power level, it's fine. It's basically the toddler form of a Deathclaw, maybe the young adult. You know, it's a teen Deathclaw. Fine, fuck it. Teen Deathclaws are an inconvenience. They are not going to end my run. Adult Deathclaws, at my current stage, there's a reason that most people, if they're going this route, they just bring a stealth boy to turn themselves invisible and run and hide. That would be a good plan. That's a good reason. But I want some Deathclaw parts. I wanted the Deathclaw hands. Am I going to make a Deathclaw gauntlet? Am I going to make the Fist of Roar or the, what's it called? I don't have Wild Lace Wind enabled, but I think it's the Fist of the North Roar, which is a parody of Fist of the North Star. But that's also in, why am I blanking? Honest Hearts. That uses Roar's hand. Oh yeah, by the way, Roar! There's another Deathclaw that's even bigger, and angrier, and more powerful. You swear to God, the last 29 minutes just sound like a mix of needing out hard and trying to be edgy. Deathclaws are not a joke. They might be when we get to the New Vegas TV show, which is just Fallout Season 2. I didn't like the first season. I didn't finish the whole thing, though. I didn't like what I saw of it. I could not tell you how far into I got. But I have seen trailers for Season 2, and they've shown off a Deathclaw. It looks more like Fallout 4. So they're probably only going to have one of them and make it a big Ooga Booga monster. Where it's just like, oh yes, a man in a rubber suit. Hopefully the ghoul, that's played by people's favorite actor, or just the favorite character for the show in general, hopefully he doesn't have some sort of secret arcane knowledge to instantly exploit a weak point. The fucking power armor exploiting Season 1 pissed me off. It's like, if you're going with Fallout 4 style power armor, just knock the fusion core out of the back. What is this nonsense where you get... I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna say it. No. I'm already risking going more than slightly neurotic on Fallout New Vegas today. I don't need to add in the TV show. The important thing is that Fallout is seemingly walking back the threat of Deathclaws, because in New Vegas, they just fuck you up. Imagine if locusts had chainsaws. Imagine if mosquitoes were injecting you with napalm before drinking your blood. And then instead of just drinking a little bit to have the females nurture their offspring, they just sucked all of it, every last bit of it, and then spat it on your corpse, out of spite. That's a fucking Deathclaw. That is a pack of Deathclaws. You can see the late 90s, early aughts vintage edge on that. Sick. Yeah. And you know what the actual worst part is? I've already gone over how Roar is probably the biggest, baddest Deathclaw. And keep in mind, this is 2010. His name is spelled R-A-W-R. Somebody out there has chibi fan art of Roar, and I'm not happy about it. That said, keeping in mind, with even establishing that Roar is the biggest, baddest, most lethal Deathclaw in the game, he's still not the worst enemy. You want to know what the worst enemy is? For my taste, personally. Motherfucking Cazadors. Until you do Old World Blues and get immunity to poison, motherfucking Cazadors. Okay, let me paint you a picture. Imagine a giant Asian wasp. Now, imagine it's the size of a Saint Bernard. Oh, hell no. I'm not done. Deathclaws are only in packs in like 3, maybe 4 places of the map. Get away, you fuck you. Deathclaws are only in packs in like 3, maybe 4 places in New Vegas. Cazadors are goddamn everywhere. There's a reason I put my meat shield in metal armor. I am trying to make it so she gets stung and not me. Fuck me, nah. Motherfucking Cazadors. They do lose a lot of their threat once you get to the DLC Old World Blues. You can get perks, upgrades, etc. that give you either partial or entire immunity to poison. Once you have a Cazador's poison dealt with, that eliminates half the threat. Once you're immune to poison, Deathclaws are worse than Cazadors. But until you're immune to poison, Cazadors are just going to make you walk to your death. If you miraculously survive your first encounter with them, probably in a large group of like 4 to 6, you can walk away. You're still taking poison damage. Did you remember to bring anti-venom with you? Did you bring enough anti-venom with you? That's the million-dollar question. If you didn't bring enough, you're just going to have to spam healing items for a while. And by the way, they can poison robots! Don't even give me a lore dump on how that works. How are bugs poisoning robots? Are you clogging the gears with your fluids? What the fuck? My iBot died of toxic exposure. Bitch doesn't have lungs or vocal cords. He couldn't scream. He just keeled over. He rolled away. Dead. I have a Brotherhood of Steel member in full power armor. That is meant to be a walking tank. If you mean to tell me that a mosquito killed an Abrams, what the fuck are they feeding the Cazadors? You know what they're feeding the Cazadors? It's in Old World Blues. These were scientifically engineered to be abominations. They're not technically abominations in-game because abomination is a class of creature, but they are just perfectly engineered horror. Sounds like me, not you? Sounds like you, not... Okay, calm my tits down. Listen! I was fighting Cazadors on a PlayStation 3 in 2010. That doesn't go away. That stays with you. It will never go away. Never. No. That's just in my memories now. Permanently. No. But at least there's not, like, say, more Cazadors. Right? There's not still places on the map I have to unlock that are surrounded by 10 plus Cazadors before I've done Old World Blues. Right? Right? Right. Okay. Fucking hate Cazadors. Even when I do get to poison immunity, I still don't like Cazadors. At least Deathclaws are a fun fight. Cazadors, you just cripple the wings, and then you try to make sure your NPC allies don't kill themselves. And Twitch just crashed again. Motherfucker. Okay, okay. Think we're back. I think we're back. Looks good now. Okay. There we are. All right. As I was saying, Deathclaws are at least some kind of fun. They got history. You have lore with Deathclaws across the franchise. I've been killing Deathclaws since the early aughts. Or when did Fallout 1 come out? Hang on. Fallout 1 came out in 1997. I don't think I played it until I was like 10? Maybe 11? So that would have been, for me, probably like 02, 03? I was late to the party, obviously. Fallout 1 came out when I was 5. You weren't even born then, both times. Arguably some of the best Fallout existed before you did. And now we're stuck with Fallout 76. I hope you're happy. There's no telling when Fallout 5 comes out, because there's still no telling when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. That got announced, what, 4 or 5 years ago? Nothing since that one trailer. And that trailer was just a pre-rendered cinematic. It showed off the landscape. That's it. Most cool things came out before you did. Well, they're gonna keep on coming. Look at me, for example. Well, I wish I was cool. Right now, it's kind of sweltering. But, that could be a hot topic for another time. Don't sweat it. Yeah, I want to say I played Fallout 1 probably 10 or 11. So I've been killing Deathclaws for 24 years. Hey, if you want to feel really bad, I heard about somebody getting a PS1 from their grandpa the other day. Oh, rip. Yeah, it was, fuck it. Was it a 4chan or, like, it was something they reacted to in shorts. And people were sharing it everywhere, and it's like, oh yeah, my grandfather was 28 when the PS1 came out. Okay. I know that's at least 20 years ago. But I don't want to think harder about the numbers. And he says, he gave it to my dad who was 8 at the time. Okay, there you go. That makes perfect sense to me. And your dad's 38. Hang on. Pause. Wait. I don't want to crumble into dust just yet. That makes you feel old. Ugh. I still want to go back to some of my old PS1 games. I could probably emulate, but I'd like to have the original copies back in my hand again. It's another case of, it's probably somewhere in my mother's house. Like, especially Digimon World 3 I want to go back to. Nice JRPG. A little grindy, but depending on whether you're doing the North American, the EU, or the Japanese version, good wealth of content. I think it's only in... I do think the North American version got ripped off, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't remember the version differences off the top of my head, but one of the versions has markedly less endgame content than the others, and I do think it was the version I had when I was a kid. So I might go for an English version of the European release, if I go back to it. then do. I've got so many games I already want to continue playing that I've started on stream. And I'm still trying to find a way to do, like, a supercut of one or more past playthroughs. At the very least, I want to find, like, a Ferox clips out of context type of thing that I can spam out there. Because it's hard to advertise a stream, but you have clips. It's like, oh yeah, here's 10 seconds of me being a dumbass. Now just multiply that by approximately 300. Do you want to see it happen live? Okay, that's only slightly cursed, I'll admit. I can try to figure it out, but one thing I'd like to do would probably be like a supercut of Dragon's Dogma 1, because I'd want to do that myself so I can refamiliarize myself with the playthrough. Oh, you're so on it. There's a lot of context with me. One thing I'd want to do is, like, if I do a supercut of one of my previous playthroughs, I'd want to make it Dragon's Dogma 1, because I finished the story once, but I didn't 100% the save. So I'd want to go back to catch up, see which versions of the quest endings I did, so I can get full 3 stars and do the other endings. And I want to go back to max out the level on that, do a hard mode finish, and then a speedrun finish. I don't think I would grind the online Ur-Dragon, just because it's all RNG, and that's dependent on other people that I can't even contact with. The online Ur-Dragon is parallel play. It's not like you have a co-op session with 3 other Arisen. It's not Dragon's Dogma Online, so. I would probably do everything except the online Ur-Dragon if I went back. And I do want to. Like, I still haven't finished Dragon's Dogma 2, like, once. I'm in the 4th act post-game, whatever. I'm in the Unmoored World. And I have not been tempted to actually finish it. Meanwhile, Dragon's Dogma 1, I've played Dragon's Dogma 1 to completion... Let me count. I 100% on PS3, PS4. Those aren't my only 100%s, but let me think. I made 4 characters on PS3. I made 4 characters on PC, including the one I streamed. I made 2 characters on PS4, 1 on Switch, 2 on 360, and 1 on Xbox One. Am I missing any versions? I played every versions of Dragon's Dogma 1, including the non-Dark Arisen vanilla versions. If you just start on the PC version of Dragon's Dogma 1, it only released with Dragon's Dogma and Dark Arisen bundled together. If you were in 2012, however, when the game first released, post-Skyrim, I think it was only like a 6-month difference, too. I want to say May 2012? That sounds right. Hang on. May 22, 2012. Okay. I could remember that, but I can't remember. Never mind. Only the important stuff, right? Do I need the Poke Rap, or do I need my social security number? Clearly, my brain has its own priorities. Anyway. Dragon's Dogma 1 released in 2012, and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen wasn't available as a separate DLC. You had to get a re-release of Dragon's Dogma 1 with Dark Arisen bundled with it, all on one disc. Or, I think it was one disc on Xbox 360 as well. It was definitely only one disc on PlayStation. And they would give you a bonus for importing from the vanilla game if you were playing on the Dark Arisen version, which was, I believe, the Eternal Fairy Stone and several outfits with armor values. I think it was Reynard, Madeline, and there was also accessories too. There was this iron bracer that looked like a griffin head. There was Ruinous Tabard. What am I getting the name wrong on? they gave you a bunch of stuff in-game if you were importing your save. So what I did on both PlayStation 3 and 360 was I started vanilla, and then I would import my saves, because you could get that stuff later on in the game if you were playing on just Dark Arisen purely for the start. But if you were playing vanilla and then imported into Dark Arisen, you would get the stuff right then and there. You wouldn't have to wait until you reached Grand Soren. So you get bonus armor out of the gate. You have basically infinite fast travel, provided you have sufficient waypoints discovered. That said, I primarily play on PC now, so it doesn't make a difference. PC never had just vanilla Dragon's Dogma. But yeah, I've got the PS3 both versions, 360 both versions, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. So that's 8 versions of Dragon's Dogma 1. And I've played them all. I have not finished them all, mind you. But for one of my favorite games of all time, absolutely. I will support it way beyond anything resembling common sense. And I recommend it accordingly. It's like, for a while when I was more... Never mind. Like, for a while, I was giving away copies of Terraria because I used to pirate games. And Terraria was the last game I ever pirated. I enjoyed it so much that not only did I make sure I got the game officially through legitimate channels, but to make up for lost time and just dealing with my internal guilt complexes, I made sure to gift copies of it to a bunch of people. And I tried doing that like a minimum 1 copy per year. Forgive me! You don't have a confession box, Terraria. Just the wall of flesh. Good old Baptist guilt. Carrie. Or Cray. You know what? Both. Crazy. Even better. But what about the crayfish? If I love a game enough, or any piece of art for that matter, then I will go to move heaven and earth to try and support it. It just makes sense to me. It's the way I'm wired. Unlike my ISP, who is apparently wired straight into hell. Hang on. I think we're back. Yeah, we're back. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that was a Dragon's Dogma tangent. I forgot how we originally arrived at it. But something to do with multiple versions, importing saves, 2010, early 10s. I'm not going to remember how the segue happened. But Dragon's Dogma is definitely coming back in some way, shape, or form. Either Dragon's Dogma 1 or 2, or a recap, or a supercut, or something. For now, though, let me just shrink myself a smidgen. No, I don't want to cut off screen. Before we hop into the game, I need to pull up my... Where are you? Where are these accursed notes? Ah! There we are. Okay. Is it the game? The notes? The sacred text? Yes. You may notice I've added some numbers since then. Oh, how you missed them. Well, you're gonna get a lot. So as you can see here, these are my current skill point investments at level 22. And of the 13 skills in New Vegas, I've already got 9 of them fully committed. Now, I'll have to scroll down to try and explain this, but basically, when I started with my default special, which is up here you can see, 5591975, that is 5 strength, 5 perception, 9 endurance, 1 charisma, 9 intelligence, 6 agility, which is increased to 7, courtesy of small frame, that's a trait, and 5 luck. Now, with those default specials, my unmodified level 1 skills are functionally 7, 15, 15, 17, 15, 23, 15, 23, 23, 17, 7, 23, 23. The only things there that sound wrong on a level 1 character are barter and speech, because I don't have anything tagged yet. And especially for a diplomat character, you're going to want to tag. So, moving out of Doc Mitchell's house, you have the trait selections, which gives you not only the +1 to agility at the cost of making you more fragile for limb crippling, it also lets you tag 3 skills. So the 7 in barter doesn't just jump to a 22 based on the 15 for tagging it. It jumps by another 5 because I have skilled selected. Skilled is a trait as well as small frame. It jumps everything to 27, 20, 20, 22, 20, 28, 20, 28, 28, 22, 27, 43, 28. I think survival might have been a mistake tagging when I was starting this character. That said, I basically never had to invest skill points into it until I wanted to get specific perks. 43 survival is more than enough. I probably could have just left that at 28 and put the tag onto something like sneak, which definitely has its arguments. I would have also liked something in either lockpick or science, but you have limited options, so. Skills with finalized traits, small frame, and skilled +2. And also you're going to notice that medicine, repair, and science go up by an additional +2. This is factoring in the intelligence implants from the clinic run, which we did previously. So the skills that get the additional +2 over the others getting a +5 from additional layers of skilled. That +2 is from the additional point of int, I. So that jumps us to 32, 25, 25, 29, 25, 33, 25, 33, 33, 29, 32, 48, 33. I almost said 53. Fuck. Now, we do have to plan ahead because it's not just a matter of these traits as well as the 1 implant from when we did our clinic run. Because if we were just going to treat it as that, our special would be restricted to 55911075. But we have to plan ahead for the end game. So, if we factor in the projected implants and additional special points that we're going to be receiving over the course of the entire playthrough, we are going to end on this character with 8 strength, 6 perception, 10 endurance, 2 charisma, 10 intelligence, 8 agility, 7 luck. Now, on my all-rounder character, I would have that last bonus point from Divide Survivor put into endurance, but we already started with a 9 in endurance on the pacifist, the diplomat. So we can't get that up to 11, not via traditional means. So instead we have to invest that in luck. And thankfully, because we're going from 6 to 7 in luck, that will push us just over the 0.33 threshold, where we can get 1 bonus skill point all around. Because you can see here, I couldn't invest the final special point into endurance or into intelligence because those both started at 9 and the medical clinic implants would bring those up to 10 naturally. So when it comes to the end of why am I blanking on the name? The Divide Survivor. Once you finish Ulysses and the final DLC for the game, you get 1 bonus special point. So this was a matter of figuring out where it should go. As you can see, for some, it's going to give you a +2 in select stats. Like, it'll give you a +2 in guns, or in sneak if you use it in agility. It'll give you a +2 in speech and barter if you do it in charisma. It'll give you a +2 in lockpicking, in energy weapons and guns if you put it in perception. And putting it in strength would have been the worst choice overall, even though that would give you an additional plus 10 carry capacity. It would only, in terms of skill points, or it would only give you plus 2 to melee weapons. It wouldn't even give you a plus 2 to unarmed. You'd think that would be correlated in strength, but not in this game. However, we're looking at 4 points, 4 points, 6 points, 2 points, depending on if you put it into agility, charisma, perception, or strength. If you put it into luck at the threshold where it goes over 6, it then gives you plus 1 skill point for every stat. Barter, energy weapons, explosives, guns, lockpick, medicine, melee weapons, repair, science, sneak, speech, survival, unarmed. It's more than double perception. Perception would have been the second best choice. So that's why when you get to the final special point allotted via Divine Survivor, you have to put that into luck. And also having a 7 in luck, it just feels lucky. Lucky number 7. What can I tell you? Numerology just makes brain go burr with happy. So once you have all of that factored in, you're planning for the end game. 35, 28, 28, 32, 28, 36, 32, 36, 36, 32, 35, 51, 35. Survival goes over 50 because we tagged it at this stage. I think I would have rather tagged science instead. However, that survival does provide a tremendous amount of help early game when you're playing in hardcore mode. If you aren't playing in hardcore mode, definitely don't tag survival like this. But if you are, I'm weird. I'm not even halfway through this. So those are the projections for the specials as well as the skill points. Now, as you can see here, we've subtracted the 35 from 72 in barter. I'm just using barter as an example. It's the top of the list. Now, because we start with 35 barter, we need to factor in whether or not we are going to use all the skill books, whether or not we're going to be using educated for bonus skill points, how much we actually need to put in there in terms of skill points versus how much we could wait on. Keeping in mind, the character I'm building here is only level 22. Oh my fucking god, it's your fault for being here. You're an enabler! You knew what this was! Why did you make this? Why did you make me do this to me? And you. Well, I did it to me, but you were just kind of in the blast radius. So again, I'm using barter as an example. Barter, once we factor everything in, is going to be at 35 as the base, when you factor in all the implants, all of the special commitments, all of the perks, etc. So, barter is going to be a base 35, so you only need to invest 65 skill points. If you invest more than 65, you're just going to waste them when you eventually get those additional implants, perks, etc. So, you don't invest more than 65. Oh ha, why blame you? I'm a bitch. You're gonna run me over. I already do a phenomenal impression of Roadkill. But that's flat out not happening. There's no vehicles in New Vegas. Unless you're a boomer. And by the way, I mean boomer as in a faction name. That did not age well. There's a faction called the Boomers. They're one of the only in New Vegas, specifically. Unless you're talking about people that are riding Brahmin, or that allegedly have vehicles that never appear in-game, but are implied off-screen. The Boomers are the only ones confirmed with a working vehicle. And naturally, they use it to blow shit up. Gotta love them. Right, what was I saying? Right, okay. So barter, if we are treating barter as a base 35, planning for the future investments in it, then you only need to put in 65 skill points. But here's the thing, in New Vegas, there's also skill books. These are a one-time use item that gives you a permanent skill increase. If you're just going off of the vanilla value, it gives you a plus 3 points. If you're getting the comprehension perk, comprehension, it's in this list for a reason. Like, educated gives you plus 2 skill points per level up. You get 10 by default. Since we're building with 10 intelligence in mind, we have the 10 skill points increased by 5 on the basis of 0.5 skill points per point in I. So 10 times 0.5 is 5, thus leads to 15, with the level 4 skill selection of educated immediately as early as possible, thus 17. This leads us to... let's see. There's 3 level ups where you have to take 15 skill points, and that's assuming even still you have the maxed out int stat. And from level 4 onward, you have to take the... You take the skill after you allot the points. So there's no way to, at level 4, get 17 skill points. You start at level 1, you get 3 level ups at 15, and then you get the next 46 level ups at 17, which leads you to having a total of 732 points without educated, 827 with educated. That comes down to a differential of 92 skill points. Which, I'm actually starting to wonder, because I did skilled twice, I don't think I'm actually going to need to use all the books. Heck, if I'm being straight with you, it'd be a first. If I'm being straight with you, I'm not even sure if you need educated in this. I need to actually practically see what happens when I reach level 50, because either one, the other, or both of these I can get rid of. I ran the numbers. Assuming I get to level 30, because threshold is met at level 28.8 plus 1 as the baseline. So at level 29.8, aka level 30, what was the old cap of the game, theoretically, you could max out all of your skills at level 30, the old level cap. Straight? Me? Who am I talking about? Well, certainly not a straight shooter. Now, keeping in mind, let me bring up one more paper, actually. I think I have this saved here. Yes, okay. There are 81 skill books in the game, spread across 13 different classes, or 13 different skills. Some of them have as low as 5, others have as high as 8. Now, Sneak, I would say, is the guaranteed 8. Science has 7 unless you do a specific quest ending. This big book of science, you can see here in the science category, that requires you do the... what's the name of the quest? That Lucky Old Sun, specifically in a way that the followers of the Apocalypse approve of. If you want any other ending for that quest, you're going to miss out on +4 science. Theoretically, but practically. So yeah, there's 81 skill books to find across the entire game. But let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12... 14, 17, do I count that? Let's just say 20, 24, 26, 27, 29. 29 of them are locked behind the DLC. And that's actually not even completely correct, because 29 of the books are found in the DLC. If you go to Old World Blues, you can craft one more of each skill book. So 42 skill books are behind the DLC. Depending on whether or not you take comprehension, that could be between 126 and 168 skill points you're leaving on the table. Assuming you take educated, that is the difference of 10 levels of skill points. So, you're starting to see the problem, I think. Because even if we can theoretically have all of our skills maxed out at level 30, we still need to be able to get to all of the skill books. And furthermore, if we can max out all of our skills at level 30, and we have enough skill books to do everything, what are we doing with the next 20 levels? So, I'm not going to put it here. I'm going to put it in a new sheet. So 20 as a level differential would lead us to between 300 and 340 skill points that are effectively being wasted. This is assuming that you take the time to farm all the skill books, that you find everything relevant, that you craft everything craftable in Old World Blues, and you can still technically get more in, not Lonesome Road, it's Honest Hearts. There we go. In Honest Hearts, there are at least 4 chests that I can think of that have a chance to give you skill books. And theoretically, you get up to 4 skill books per metal crate. So assuming that is 4 by 4, that is 16 times 17. There we're looking at... I'll bring up the calculator. I'm getting flustered right now. 16 by 17, 272. The fact that there's that many skill books, that there's that many skill points, just RNG dependent. Why did I do the plus 17 there? No, 17 doesn't make sense. I told you I'm getting flustered. No. It's 4 by 4 by 4. It's 4 to the 3rd power, 4 cubed. I knew that 272 didn't make sense, but I got lost in my head for a moment. I'm sorry. So 4 cubed would then result in 64 skill points. That's basically 4 level ups. It's slightly less if you have educated, but slightly more if you don't. And again, we're operating off the assumption of a 10-int base. So if you were going to run with a non-10-int build, then I'm questioning where else could we put the points? Because the only reason you go to 10-int is for the bonus skill points. There's no skill check in the game that requires specifically 10 intelligence. I think the highest intelligence check in the game is in Old World Blues and requires an int of 9 when you get to Dr. O. So there's no practical reason to have 10 int if you're already going to max out on skill points. Shush. God damn. All these notifications at once. Did you just find the internet connection? I'm not going to agree to a new goddamn Samsung security plan. You have enough of my data. Fuck you. Now shush. Rip King. What was I saying before? Famous! You knew I was lying the whole time. Yeah. Right. So we're looking at 20 levels where if we collect all the books, then we don't need skill points after level 30. So we're leaving 340 skill points on the table. Now, assuming we cut educated, then that saves us 92 points. And if we cut comprehension, that is 81 skill books. Hang on. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 56. $64, 70, 81, 80 or 81, depending on how you want to count the followers. Because I put in the reassessment on the notes here. Because I'm looking at maybe I can cut comprehension and educated when I go to my all-rounder. If I cut comprehension, that frees up 80 to 81 skill points. And that's assuming I get no skill points from... I just said it, Honest Hearts. I get every skill book, but then I don't need to get the bonus points. So let's assume that we're going with... Let's assume we're getting rid of both educated and comprehension. So that's going to take us to a 172. That only solves half of our overcommitted skill points. Which is a fun thing to consider, actually. Because 340, it's just being cut in half, basically, at 170. And then what do we do with that 170? We can cut out the second application of Skilled. Because I would like to have Wild Wasteland perk for at least one playthrough in the near future. So if we 170 minus 65, that's going to give us 105. And then we can cut a point in intelligence. I don't know if I want to do that, but I am thinking about it. So we get to 105 minus... It's going to be... It's going to be minus 49 skill points, but we're also going to be going down in select categories. It would definitely be more realistic then. More realistic would be an int of 0. Unfortunately, that's not acquirable without some form of pharmaceutical intervention. So we do a 105 that is then minused by 49. However, then we have to go into whether or not the calculations change dramatically on reallocating that point of int into another section. Let me see here. There we go. I'm not looking for a way to increase the special. I'm looking for a way to extrapolate what the special impact is on individual skills. Come on. Fucking Google AI. I don't give a shit about that. Just give me the link. Okay, so raise the value of every skill +1 for every 2 points in luck. See chart below. And affects critical chance. It also improves the odds at winning any casino game. The higher the luck, the more likely the favorable outcomes on bets will be. So there's no point in getting rid of 1 point in intelligence and then sending that to luck, because you need to send at least 2 points in that to go over the threshold. And we covered the thresholds earlier. It would take 2 points in luck to get another +1 increase across the board, but that would still be +13, versus the next best use of 1 skill point would be in perception for a +6. So 1 would equal 6, 2 would equal 12. However, if we retrofit the int into luck instead of 2 points in perception, then we get... What is the exact numerical impact of intelligence beyond the skill point allocation? Medicine, repair, and science. And that would be... It would be 1-to-1 if I went into perception, because that's also doing 3 skills. And the ratio is supposed to be 1-to-1, if I'm reading the charts correctly. So 3 skills, 2 points apiece per 1 level of special commitment, whether it's in I or P. The other specials just aren't as, just not as numerically satisfying. Int is where we're drawing from, so we don't compare int to int. And endurance is already going to be maxed out or close to it. So that's actually, considering my diplomat starts at 9 endurance. My diplomat starts at 9 endurance, but my... That's an ending threshold of 7 luck. My all-rounder has an ending threshold of, I think, 8 luck. Hang on. Eight luck. Bonus point from Divide Survivor. What I'm thinking right now is that I take 2 points out of intelligence, I put 1 into endurance and 1 into luck. Because we're already at a non-point changing threshold with luck, going from... It should only be the odd-numbered increments of luck that give you a +1 in stats, if I remember, because +1 is effectively the 0, luck 3 is +1, luck 5 is +2, luck 7 is +3, luck 9 is +4? Endurance is probably one of the best all-rounders, although there is an argument for strength as well. The argument for strength is just carry capacity, honestly. Yes, it does give you melee weapons, but the melee damage and carry weight aren't being directly impacted in a visible skill point manner. So... where else would I put it? I don't think it would be worth putting it anywhere in Perception. I don't need a Perception 7 on this build, do I? No, I would only need Perception 7 for skill checks, and then I could use +1 Perception headgear. Also, as you can see here from my general build, I did strip out several skills, and I have 3 slots open, so I'm reconsidering whether or not... There's 10 skills here, but I've already discounted 2 of them, and 3 of the skills also have multiple levels in them, so... Realistically speaking... Yeah, that's 8 by 11. And this is the hard part of cutting both educated and comprehension. Because what the fuck do I pick at level 4? Legitimately, there's only so many good level 2 skills. Like, if I'm doing a role-playing build, and I want to be just like an evil psycho piece of shit, then I could take Cannibal at level 4, but I don't really use the skill. It would just be for flavor. Or I guess the GRA challenge. Because there is a GRA challenge where you need to cannibalize each of the 4 major faction leaders between the Kings, the NCR, Kaiser's Legion, and House. Specifically, you need to eat the King, you need to eat Kaiser, you need to eat President Kimball, and you need to eat House again. And if you do that, it's a GRA challenge, but I don't think it's a particularly good one. It does give you a perk, but how often do you use cannibalism? And by the time you're able to do that, by the time you're eating the president of the post-apocalypse United States, you're basically 80% of the way through the game. You're not going to get to use that perk much. Well, are you going to stop in the middle of the fight for Hoover Dam and eat the goddamn enemy? Right in front of my Sawyer-approved director's cut? Really? No. So what else do I take at level 2 or level 4? It's like Confirmed Bachelor. Confirmed Bachelor is slang for unofficially announcing somebody's a gay dude. If you want to take a level 2 skill, I strongly suggest you take either Black Widow for a female player or Confirmed Bachelor for a male player. You can't take Black Widow as a man. You can't take Confirmed Bachelor as a woman. These perks are... I've heard some people refer to it as the level 2 perk is effectively your sexuality. Because you can take Confirmed Bachelor that deals bonus damage against men. It also gives you romance dialogue options with men. If you take Lady Killer, that gives you bonus damage against female characters and romance dialogue options. You can take both, by the way. You can take Confirmed Bachelor and Lady Killer. But in the process, you're basically using 2 level ups to be bisexual. It's nice to know I'm so overpowered in real life, but on the other hand, in game, what the fuck am I doing with my damn level ups? Like, let me go back to my Diplomat here. My Diplomat at least has an option. My Diplomat is a sneaky, stealthy character. At least at level 4, I can choose Travel Light. For my Diplomat, it makes sense if I can get rid of Comprehension and Educated. Because I still have a level 4 skill. But for my All-Rounder, I don't have a level 4 skill. I would have to plan for the respec. What am I going to take here? Old World Gourmet? I don't like relying on food buffs. Especially from stuff you can't craft. Wait, what's going on? You were gone for 25 seconds? I was going over how, Confirmed Bachelor, Lady Killer, Black Widow, and Cherchez La Femme. These skills are basically what I always take at level 2. And they basically dictate your character's sexuality, unofficially speaking. But they give you bonus damage against the correlating romantic attraction option, and it gives you romantic dialogue options. Like, Confirmed Bachelor, it's slang for a gay dude who's flying under the radar. So, you take it because there's more male enemies than female enemies. But also, in the words of Papa Frank, I'm gay. If you choose Lady Killer, yeah, you get more, like, straight maxing dialogue options, but at the same point, there's fewer female enemies. Oh, okay, dang. And for the female options, I guess you're always going to be effectively straight, because Black Widow is just better than Cherchez La Femme. The only time I would want Cherchez La Femme as a female courier would be for, Dead Money. Because you get unique dialogue with Christine. Because Christine is a lesbian, and if you take Cherchez La Femme, then you like women too. Also, Veronica's a lesbian, but you can't really broach that subject, even if you are getting her a pretty dress and heavy plated armor. TLDR, if you're looking at a level 2 perk, I strongly recommend you either be a straight woman or a gay man. But what the fuck do you do with level 4 in this build? Do I have to plan for the respec? There's nothing I want for level 4. My next skill that I want to pick is level 6. Toughness, Shotgun Surgeon, Bloody Mess, Gunslinger. I'm looking at taking out Gunslinger. I'm barely going to have level 6 options. I don't like it. But yeah, we are looking at basically, if we go to a 105 minus the 49 from removing the additional point of int, that would give us, it would be, if you only remove 1 point of int, you're setting it at a 0.5 modifier, and it rounds down. So you're not going to get 16, you're going to get 16 instead of 17. Or, no, 16 would be if we also had educated and comprehension. So, no. I'm reducing my int, and I'm getting rid of educated. Okay, so we start at 17 with a 10 int base and educated, okay? We cut out educated, that takes us to a 15. If we take out 1 point of int or 2 points of int, it doesn't matter if we take out 1 or 2, it's going to set us from a 15 to a 14. If it's going to set us to a 14 skill point on level up anyway, then there's no reason to go for a -1. We would go with a -2 for int. Which then fittingly gets us a 105 minus 49, resulting in 56. So then we get a +1 in luck, that then pushes us back up to 56 plus 13 equals 69. It's not nice! It's still wasted skill points! Fuck! It seriously comes out to 69! Oh. Sometimes I like the way the math breaks. Okay, let's go back over this for a second. Okay. 92, 80, Did I forget to carry it too? Why did no one yell at me sooner? Yeah, that should be a 172, not just a flat 170, which means that 172 there should be a 168. 168 minus 65. Then comes out to 103. 103 minus 49. then results in 54 plus 13 up to 67. Now it's not even nice in theory. Okay, so at the current projections, we would then be going to a 7, 6, 10, 1, 8, 8, 9. That feels dirty. I don't like reducing my int. I think I just have to go into the game and set my specials to see how it looks. Because I'm not sure I'm running the numbers correctly. I should, though. I guess I should. Okay. Also, just in case I haven't said it already, in all cases where I'm looking at maxing out my skills, it is possible to max them out without the full skill points from min-maxing int and your perks and the books. Like, this would result in 50.5 rounding over. That would require me getting a character to effectively level 52, but that's if I use 0 books. Like, the 50.5 then rounds up to a 51, because levels have to be in full increments, and then you start at the level 1, so you add them together. So you would only need functionally 2 full levels. That'd be 34, assuming comprehension, educated in 10, and there's definitely more than enough books to do that. I think I've already used, in my diplomat build, I used, let me see here, I had comprehension for 4, and I used 1 of every book for each skill category, so that means 42. That means I'm already over the threshold. I could just collect the damn books. I wouldn't even have to use them. Like, if I stay the course with my current diplomat build, because I don't want to start my diplomat over again. The save's over 40 hours in. I don't want to start over. But I am planning ahead for my all-rounder, just in case I do a playthrough with that. Using only 1 of each type of skill book, and then assuming I get all the implants as currently planned, that puts you over the threshold. You're just barely going to be wasting skill points then. And you can keep using skill books after you have gotten to skill 100, by the way. It's going to lead to some waste, however, if you invest skill books in a skill that's already at 100, what it doesn't give you an increase in performance over 100, but if you have some kind of like a crippled limb or you're under some kind of drug side effect, then the amount of stats you would have decreased as a result of that. Since you're over 100, it decreases. You might still be able to stay at or above 100 functionally. So, I mean, theoretically, if I save the skill books, then I could do a Radchild build. I don't like Radchild in New Vegas typically, because, again, it drops your endurance, it drops your stats. But when you have Radchild, you also regenerate hit points, depending on how irradiated you are. You just have permanent health regeneration if you stay irradiated. And you could overcome the threat of being irradiated if your stats are going over the minimum threshold, or over the maximum thresholds. Huh. So there might be a reason to overcommit. If I don't have another level 4 skill option, though, I'm going to have to take at least one of them still. That's the thing. I could reallocate the points of intelligence elsewhere. I could take a -2 to intelligence and then put them into endurance and luck. That should get me the interchange and the... That's going to result in a -12, a +6, and a +13, theoretically? -12 +6, so that is still -6, and then that's a +7 in terms of overall skill points. So that drops us from the original 67 estimate to a 61, or a 60. No, a 61. Okay. It's tricky. I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the damn things, trying to figure out if there's a way I could actually... If you have to pick one or the other, you would want to keep educated instead of comprehension. Comprehension assumes you're going to find all of the damn books scattered across the entire map, quest rewards, and also 4 DLCs. And you have to craft 13 of them. So that actually means comprehension would... A quick question. Am I always this passionate about my games? Do you feel like you're watching one of those space documentaries again? I only get this passionate about the games I love. Like, if I let one of my friends drag me back to Call of Duty or some shit like that, it's like, yeah, okay, this is a random, dumb popcorn experience. I'll be in and out of here in 3 hours. I never have to think about it again. But if it's a game I love, if it's Dragon's Dogma, if it's New Vegas, if it's classic Pokemon, then I will put in the time for no good reason other than my own entertainment. My brain is a machine that takes hobbies and turns them into obsessions. Some call it passion. Me, I call it addiction. And I didn't take Lugan's loophole IRL. Lugan's loophole? Logan's loophole. Fuck. How does Logan's loophole calculate your XP if you respec at level 30? I don't use Logan's loophole that often. I'm thinking about the trait now. Hang on. Because if you... Wow, you definitely need to get me hooked on some of your games so you don't have to do the thinking. You should have seen me in Terraria. I was building a castle that would take, like, full screens vertically. I had it centered around a tunnel to the underworld. I made sure I had a corrupted altar in my basement. Now I want to go back to Terraria, son of a bitch. Also, yes, my friends use me for their thinking, too. Hydrate, hydrate. Okay. Cheers. Your forgore is forgiven. Don't worry about it. What was I talking about? Logan's loophole, right. Because Logan's loophole caps you at 30, which was the original level cap. But the trait can be removed if you respec. Does it continue tracking your XP past 30 then? Because theoretically, you could take Logan's loophole, respec when you get to the auto dock in Old World Blues, and then you would basically remove your cap, or increase it by 20 levels. And if I don't need skilled, I need to pick something else, because what the fuck else am I going to use? Like, this for my all-rounder, I think. There's only 2 other traits I really consider, personally. Built to Destroy and Wild Wasteland. Let me pull up the list. Show me FONV traits. Thank you. Okay. This is the wrong category. Not FO1, FONV. Thank you. Okay. So here's the list of traits. Built to Destroy. It gives you a +3 to crit chance, but your weapon decay is 15% faster. If you get Raoul as a companion early on, you've offset this entirely. Because that 15% decay faster, well, Raoul gives you a +50% to counter the -15. So just get Raoul if you pick Built to Destroy. Fast Shot gives you 20% faster fire rate, but the faster fire rate, AP costs are lower, however, your weapons are less accurate. I'm not going to use Fast Shot. I already have enough trouble aiming with my own hands and eyes. Full Rise gives you a +2 perception and then a permanent -1, so you need to counter that by wearing glasses. If you're wearing certain helmets, you can't wear glasses. You're just going to take a -1 on perception, or a -2 for just all intents and purposes, depending on whether or not you need more armor. No, fuck Four Eyes. Good Natured gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills with a +5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills with a -5. It just shuffles around your skill points. It doesn't do anything, unless you're specifically playing for that build. It's more flavor than anything else. Heavy-handed is an option. If I was going to do a melee or unarmed build, then it gives you 20% more damage raw, but you also deal -60 critical. I like crit builds, so I'm not going to take heavy-handed unless I'm doing a non-crit melee build, at which point I'm just feeling like I'm missing fun. So heavy-handed is an option, but I specifically would have to be doing a melee build that is non-critical. Okay. Kamikaze, +10 action points. Sounds good. -2 damage threshold and -15 damage resistance. So a -2 DT and a -15 DR for +10 action points? That's a shit proposition. Never do it. Unless you're trying to make yourself as fragile as possible. If you take both Kamikaze and Small Frame, so your character is made of tissue paper, congratulations, you can play with 1 HP. I'm not going to do that. Loose Cannon. Attack speed with thrown weapons increased by 30%, but thrown weapons have 25% less range. You know what my favorite weapon to throw in Fallout New Vegas is? Dynamite. Do you want to know what I want to go as far away from me as humanly possible is? Dynamite. I don't want my dynamite to be closer to me. I don't care how fast I'm throwing it. Loose Cannon, I see the appeal if you're doing an explosives build. Not for me personally. Small Frame is one I pretty regularly use. It's a +1 to agility, but your limbs are 25% more vulnerable to damage. Okay. Trigger Discipline. Guns and energy weapons you fire are 20% more accurate, but they have... they're slower and the AP cost is higher. This is basically the direct opposite of Fast Shot. And you know what? One of the shit thing about Trigger Discipline is, it's not universal. Like, Fast Shot will fuck up most of your weapons predictably. But Trigger Discipline, you figure, well, an SMG is a gun, right? I'm not planning on that being critical. I'm not using that in VATS that often, so why don't I just have an increased accuracy on my SMGs? And that'll make Trigger Discipline worth it, won't it? No. Trigger Discipline doesn't work on submachine guns. It basically only works on semi-autos. Anything that you can just set it and forget it, pull the trigger full auto, Trigger Discipline doesn't work. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I don't know if that's a bug, but it does not work. Wild Wasteland. This is a perk that I wish I could use more often, but I get stuck on the mood differences between Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. Like, if I'm in a mood for Fallout 1, no Wild Wasteland. If I'm in a mood for Fallout 2, pro Wild Wasteland. And Old World Blues adds 6 more traits, but let's go over them. Claustrophobia. +1 special while outside. -1 special while inside. Early Bird, +2 to special attributes from 6 a.m. to noon. -1 special from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So you have a 6-hour window with basically +14 special. And a 12-hour window with -7. If you were to condense the 12 hours back down into 6, it's basically even. Basically. I'm oversimplifying, but TLDR, I don't think Early Bird is a reliable trait. Especially if you're going to do any amount of sneaking, because you're relying on the cover of darkness. You can't pick the time when certain things happen. If you're ever going to rob the Gunrunner's factory, you can't use Early Bird as a bonus. You don't want your -1 agility when you have to be going into a proper stealth operation. Hoarder. Hoarder gives you +25 capacity to your carry weight, and a -1 to all of your special if you're ever carrying less than 160 pounds. This is a shit perk. Technically, it is the only way for you to reach the maximum total carry capacity in-game. Because if you don't have Hoarder, you can't reach 400. I think if you have 10 strength, burden to bear, strong back, and Hoarder, and I think it's Ulysses' coat from the end of The Divide, that gets you to 400 carry capacity. You want to know what else would give you a functionally 2.5 increase in strength to help your carry weight? Basically half of the alcohol in-game. If it gives you +2 to strength temporarily, hell, even a Bighorner steak, or is it a Brahmin steak, gives you a +1 strength, and it's common. So this trait is basically offset by using 2 common items. Don't take it. Unless you are lugging around a shitload of explosives, you're rarely going to be starting with a carry weight at 160. So that means you would be starting on whatever you're doing with a -1 across the board. Okay, Hot-Blooded. +15% damage increase while below 50% health, -2 to perception and agility while below 50% health. So having that raw damage increase does sound good on the surface, but that -2 to perception is going to impact your guns. So if you're using a non-traditional firearm, or you're using melee, then that is more useful. But the overall thing is, do you want to consistently be at half health? If you're at half health, and -4 total special points, is that worth a 15% damage increase? I don't think it is. Logan's Loophole, we've gone over this. Chems last twice as long, and your addiction rates are set to 0. You can't get addicted to anything. And Chems is not just Chems. It's not just Jet, Psycho, Turbo, etc. This also includes alcohol. This also includes Stealth Boys. Logan's Loophole is good if you're planning on not getting all the way to level 50. If you're running a Chem build, or not even a Chem build, if you're just planning on using Chems, even the GRX Implant, which is a level 30 perk, I believe, if you're going to be using Chems, Logan's Loophole is good, as long as you're not trying to get anything from level 50. I want to get the Karmic Choice perks, so I could get close to level 100 in everything. I could get close to 100 skill in everything if I got to Logan's Loophole and all the skill books. It would be close, but it would be doable. That said, close but doable, you're cutting out functionally 340 skill points and the max level perks, the strongest perks in the game, in exchange for doubling your chem duration and addiction rate is set to 0. I think you would be safer just taking the Chemist perk instead of Logan's Loophole, generally speaking. Chemist gives you the double, but it doesn't give you the immunity, so a perk versus a trait. I'd say that if you can achieve functionally the same result and you're not intending to stack both of them, you're better off just taking the perk instead of the trait. But Logan's Loophole, I do see the appeal. I understand. it would make my top 5. And then finally is skilled. So, skilled gives you plus 65 total skill points. Plus 5 to everything, that's 5 times 13 equals 65. And it gives you a minus 10% to all XP gained. And because of an exploit that I showed off previously with the clinic run, it can stack. If you take skilled, you respec, and you take skilled again, you get the skill points twice. So that's plus 130 right out of Good Springs. Skilled is the second, if not the strongest skill in the entire game. The strongest trait, I should say. So starting with skilled, absolutely. But once you've gotten your points assigned, then I think it might be worthwhile, if I get to Old World Blues, I just get rid of skilled and put in Wild Wasteland. Or maybe... By the time I get to Old World Blues, is it worth it to do Logan's Loophole? No, I want to be over 30. I want to get my karmic choice. Hot-Blooded, not worth it to me. Hoarder, not worth it to me. Claustrophobia, Early Bird, not worth it to me. Trigger Discipline, not worth it to me. I already have Small Frame. Loose Cannon. Maybe if I do an explosive build, because you can reduce damage to yourself with explosives. You can impact the size of the splash zone, the blast radius, etc. I haven't done an explosive build in years, so I can see the rationale. If you're going to play with, like, spears or throwing hatchets, however, I would never take Loose Cannon. If you're playing with explosives like Dynamite, however, I get the reasoning. So I would never take Kamikaze. I can see an appeal to Heavy-Handed. I probably wouldn't, though. Good-Natured, 4-Rise, Fast Shot, Built to Destroy. Okay. So let me just put all these down. Okay, I'm sorry, I've been ignoring chat. What did I miss? Oh, Gandalf! Hey, I'm sorry I missed you. Oh. I was getting too far up my own ass. Okay. Hope you're doing well, Gandalf. It's been a boring day, but hey, you can have me rambling about numbers and skills in a 15-year-old game. That's clearly going to be titillating, right? Time to relax. The weekend's going to be there soon. It's Hump Day. Well, Hump Day can be fun, but not if we're just talking about Wednesday. You get your kids back tomorrow, though. Excellent. So no sudden transcontinental flights, right? Finish tile in the bathroom, now you're free of work. Time to relax until then. I think I need to get my, what do you call it? I think I need to get the porcelain refinished in my bathtub. I also do need to get something fixed up with the, it's a shower tub combo. It's an old bathroom. I need to get some of the components taken a look at by a plumber, because I'm at my limit with what I know how to fix. And when I have guests, I get complaints that it doesn't work. I can tell them exactly how to use the damn shower. But they always forget, and then they twist the handle further than it's supposed to go, and it breaks worse. The secret ingredient is to never have company ever again. Unfortunately, I have a family, and for some reason, they still like me. So, I have to plan around that. You know what I just need? I need to get something like, one of my screws is stripped, so I can't replace the handle on the shower. I probably just need to get some rubber cement, or maybe a new bit. Yeah. Do I just contact a plumber? I could just point generally in the direction of a phone and go, "It's a me!" And if nobody appears out of a green pipe, then it's not meant to be. That's an easy fix. It is an easy fix. Granted, the ease of the fix is just in getting access to under the handle. Because I can hear something else is broken in there. Just replace the stopper used to have the same problem. It's not a problem with the drain, it's a problem with the handle to activate the water, to release it from the initial spigot, the faucet, spout. Elephant trunk, I don't know what you fucking call it. If I get my full hands back next week, I could probably just do it with a pair of needle nose pliers. But anyway, we were talking about skills, traits, etc. So, I'm already using small frame, so small frame does not matter for this list. We're looking at one more thing to replace with Built to Destroy, which we can offset with Raoul. I don't know if I'm going to have Raoul as my companion for endgame. I don't have him unlocked yet on the save, as is, so Built to Destroy right now, it would be premature. Heavy-handed, I'm not doing a melee build right now, unarmed or melee weapons, so it's not relevant to me. Like, I'm looking at getting rid of Ninja and Slayer for my all-rounder. Ninja and Slayer are both melee-centric perks, and those would be my only melee perks. Everything else I have invested right now is in, like, powder-based firearms. I don't have anything invested into energy weapons. I don't have anything invested into explosives. I just have, like, it's 80% firearms, guns, small guns, and, like, 20% melee. For this character, I think it would be best if I just stripped out Ninja and Slayer, and then put in more of these free picks here. I think I would want Chemist and both levels of Implant GRX. So then I would still have room for 2 more skills. So I could do Full Action Boy. I could do Bird the Bear. And I would like to have Shotgun Surgeon and Stay Back. And when I say and Stay Back, I mean and is part of the skills title. And Stay Back. This is a level 10 skill, or a level 10 perk, that makes it so every pellet out of your shotgun has a 10% chance to knock an enemy down. Every pellet. So you don't use slugs if you invest into and Stay Back. But as long as you're not using slugs, this gives you, like, 7 chances to roll a d10, and then your enemy gets put on their ass, and they can't do anything about it. Now, a 1 in 10 chance is not great, but you get to roll it 7+ times. As long as you have more than 1 shotgun shell in the damn chamber, you're not running a single shotgun. As long as you have at least a double barrel, you should knock down most enemies before you need to reload. If you're running, let me think, a riot shotgun especially. If you're running anything 12 gauge, a riot shotgun, a hunting shotgun, etc., you're going to knock down the enemy and still have the majority of your ammo. You could reload just as soon as you confirm they're knocked down and then unload. Shotgun Surgeon, on the other hand, it's not really dependent on knockdowns or anything like that. It gives you the ability to bypass 10 of your enemy's damage threshold, so you're basically ignoring a portion of their armor. And I like shotguns. So I could probably go Shotgun Surgeon, Shotgun Surgeon, and Stay Back, Implant GRX, both ranks, and Chemist. That would give me 5, and I'm planning on taking out Comprehension and Educated, depending on whether or not I want to drop all those skill points. If I keep my special spread the way it currently is, then let me think. If I keep my special spread the way it is, that's going to be a minus 172, which still gives me 168 excess skill points. I can put over multiple skills above the 100 threshold to counter radiation. I could do Radchild on this. I don't like Radchild, that's the thing. But if I can overcome the stat discrepancies from being irradiated, then that's just free health regen. It's difficult to pass up. Here's what I'm thinking. If I get rid of Comprehension, Educated, Gunslinger, Ninja, and Slayer, that plus the 3 points available gives me 8 to choose from. So I would just have to pick out either 3 skills I don't want here, or I take everything at rank 1. So my toughness would be... I think each rank of toughness is a plus 3 to damage threshold, so I would be going from a plus 6 to a plus 3. Action Boy gives you... what is it, 15 or 30 action points? I'd be taking a minus 15 there. Implant GRX, though. The second level of Implant GRX doubles the amount of chems you can take from that implant, so... And that's a daily refresh as well. I don't know if I could pass on the second level of Implant GRX, especially if I'm taking Chemist. If I'm taking Chemist, I want Implant GRX. Damn. I want Shotgun Surgeon, I want Toughness, I want Pack Rat, I want And Stay Back, I want Chemist, I want all of them. What can I cut that's in the build right now? I'm going to have Reinforced Spine. Do I need Adamantium Skeleton? Let me check Old World Blues here. Let's see. I'm going to go Brainless and Heartless. So Head can no longer be crippled. Poison immunity. If I give up Adamantium Skeleton for Brainless, then I still have like a 50% chance to... hang on. No, there's no 50% modifier. Reinforced Spine is just Torso can still be crippled. I can't give up Adamantium Skeleton, because the only part of me that's going to be immune to being crippled after Old World Blues is going to be my skull. So in Old World Blues, you have you wake up in a tub of ice, and suddenly you realize that your kidneys are on the black market. No, but seriously, in Old World Blues, at the start of the DLC, you're missing several body parts, including your spine, your heart, and your brain. And you spend the rest of the DLC trying to get them fucking back and trying to figure out how the hell you're still alive without them. That's a lobotomite problem, though. And I'm trying to figure out where I can afford to make cuts. I think I have to plan for the end game, because between comprehension and educated, even if I cut both of those and both levels of skilled, let's see, that's 130, 210, 302. Assuming I keep the same int and everything, then I'm definitely going to have more than I need. Hang on. Wait. My brain is thinking. Minus 80, minus 92. That leads to... minus 80 actually has to be treated as functionally a minus 93. So minus 93, minus 92, that is a minus 185. We're starting at a minus 185, moving down from 340. We have a minus 130 from the double skill removal, so that takes us to... minus 315. That means there's only functionally... Wait.
Wait! My brain is working! Yup. Nice one, Ed.
Maintain current special distribution, minus comprehension, minus educated, minus both layers of skilled. It will take longer to achieve the overall thresholds, but that means we get to only 25 points being wasted. I think that does it. The question then becomes, what do I take instead of skilled? I'm not planning on throwables, so loose cannon is not that relevant to me. I don't know if I'm going to be running with Raoul, so built to destroy is a question. I'm planning on maxing 50, so no Logan's loophole. I'm removing skilled. That just leaves either built to destroy or wild wasteland. And I have jury rigging, which can also offset built to destroy. I have jury rigging in both of these builds. So I could take out... A minus 25 is still not ideal. That's a level and a half being wasted. Actually, assuming we're at a 14 base, we're moving both the 2-point int, or no, we're not removing int. We're just sticking with the minus comprehension, minus educated, minus skilled, both. So that would be a 15 and 1.66 repeating levels wasted. Again, assuming we find and craft all the skill books. And keep in mind, this is so I can get every skill to 100, and I'm not even using every skill. It's like, in my current diplomat build, I'm not using unarmed. I'm not using melee weapons. I'm not using energy weapons. But I want to have everything set to 100, just in case there's a skill check. So I can smooth talk my way through all the dialogue. Why do I do this to myself? Why? I know why. So it seems like I should be able to, on my all-rounder, cut comprehension and educated. As well as both the layers of skilled. Comprehension with these calculations, by the way, even if you are getting that additional skill book from the, what's his name? The Follower of the Apocalypse, I think Hildern? Or, no, Hildern is the one at Camp McCarran. I can't remember the guy's name. Not Fantastic, the other scientist at That Lucky Old Sun. Even if you do the Followers of the Apocalypse ending for the power plant, the solar ray, whatever, that's a maximum differential of 4 on there, assuming with comprehension. Without, it's 3, and you can still max out. So I'm not even running that calculation, so I'm leaving a skill book on the table, and I'm assuming 0 skill books from Honest Hearts. You could reliably reset those containers in Honest Hearts to get an average of 2 skill books per container, but you can't guarantee which skill they're for. So trying to plan ahead for that's a pain in the ass. You have much better odds at soft resetting for 2 than you do getting all 4 from a single chest. I think it's like sub 1 in 1 words. I think it is sub 1 in 1,000 chances that you get 4 skill books per container. So you don't want to rely on that if you're min-maxing your skills. But we are making some progress here because we can get the majority of what I want from the additional perks if I just remove these melee elements. Gunslinger, I like Gunslinger, but I'm primarily focusing on rifle grip weapons, two-handed stuff, not one-handed small guns. So as much as I like Gunslinger, I think it has to come out of this. Also, I think that removes the 2 highest independent skill commitments as well. Sneak 80, melee weapons 80, unarmed 90. And these are skills I don't even largely use for my general builders, so... The next highest thing I think would be Barter 70, which is... Oh, science 70 as well for Math Wrath. And repair 90 for jury rigging. It's so worth it, though. Once you see all the random bullshit you can use to repair a 50 caliber sniper rifle, the anti-material rifle, oh, it's so good. It's worth it. Okay, so I do still have one skill in the build that requires you get to 90. Which is not great. But for my all-rounder, I think the next highest would be 70, which is, yeah, right here. Pack Rat, and there's also 70 science for Math Wrath. So, that seems doable. I didn't look into the professional, that's right. I forgot how the bug works on that. I think it's a 20% critical across the board, even though it's supposed to only apply to select weapons. But I don't want to rely on a bugged skill, at least not that's bugged in ways that I'm not used to, so. So, let's see. Built to Destroy is very much an option for me. If I was going to go Wild Wasteland, I would want it from the very beginning. I feel like Wild Wasteland is very much on my radar here, but I would rather Built to Destroy. Because Built to Destroy, I can get Raoul as a companion, and I have jury rigging already in the build. Am I relying on crits that much, though? It's not a sneak build. And my luck's not going to get higher than, what, 8? I think that's as tight as we're going to get it. Where if we maintain the int 10, then we can... It all comes down to whether or not a luck 9 actually pushes us over the threshold. Because I can't remember if it's the evens or the odds. I think it's the odds, based on my other calculations. Where if we get to a luck 9, that then gets us a plus 13 total, versus the minus 6, courtesy of going down in int. So we're looking at 25 excess, and then we're going to subtract 46 for the sake of dropping the int. Which actually, hang on. It'd be a minus 49, not a minus 46. So then we'd still have a minus 24, a plus 13... Okay, let's see. 25 excess, drop by 49. That's a minus 24. Plus 13, minus 11. I'm really trying to math. I'm trying. I could keep an int of 9. Okay. Here's my thinking. I drop the int from 10. I put the last point in luck. So we go to, as a final special spread, 7, 6, 9, 1, 9, 8, 9. We have 3 9s in the build. No 10s. Ugh. But in exchange, we only need to get 3 total skill books from Honest Hearts. And again, you could soft reset somewhat safely for 2 books from each of those chests. We're looking at an average of below 1. It's just a matter of whether or not we can control where the skills go. So what my deduction from this is, if we reduce int by 1, we are going to take a -6 total skills. We're going to get a plus 13 total by getting that extra point in luck. And in the process, we also cut comprehension, we cut educated. We cut gunslinger, we cut ninja, we cut slayer. We get rid of both layers of skilled. So that's a -130 right there. But yeah, I've already run the numbers, so that's a -49 because we're losing the level up on the skills for int. So we're basically doing the... we're giving up 1 point of int to do a clinic run and then still not get to 10. We're starting with an int of 8. Oh, wait, hang on, wait. Brain. We're talking about without comprehension. Brain. No comprehension. So that 11 isn't, the 11 isn't a 3 per skill book. That's a 4 per skill book. So we would need to factor in it not being 3 skill books, but 4 skill books. So an average of 1 skill book per chest in... I keep wanting to say Dead Money. It's Honest Hearts. Fuck. We would need an average of 1 skill book per chest, and that would put us only at the overflow of +1. Did we do it? I mean, technically, there is still 1 point wasted. 1. Oh, but motherfucker. I still don't have a level 4 skill. Because I'm getting rid of comprehension and educated. What the hell else do I take at level 4? Okay, Black Widow, Lady Killer, Cherchez la Femme, Confirmed Bachelor. I could just get the goddamn other romance perk and be bisexual. But I do that in real life. Fuck it, I'll be gay in game. What else do we have? Friend of the Night. Shit. Heave Ho. I'm not doing an explosive build. Or spears. Hunter. Shit. Intense Training. It technically gives me a point of special I don't need because I've already run these numbers. Rapid Reload. Rapid Reload. Agility 5, Guns 30, all reloads are 25% faster than normal. If I'm doing single shell reloads like a lever action shotgun, then yeah, there's value. I don't know if it's high enough. Retention. Skill magazines last for 3 IRL minutes. No. Swift Learner. 10% XP buff. No. Cannibal. Maybe if it's flavorful. I am scraping by for skills so terribly, I'm actually considering Cannibal. Comprehension. I'm cutting it. Educated. I'm cutting it. Entomologist. Shit. Radchild. I keep talking about how this one might or might not be worth it. But I'm in the process right now of actually just barely getting over the threshold. Like, only 1 skill point wasted, and that's with all the skill books. So I'm not going to be able to offset the endurance losses of being irradiated that well. Yes, I'd like to have full-on health regen. But the stat losses... Ugh. Run and gun. Have spread with one-handed weapons, ranged weapons while walking or running. I gotta tell you, I usually stop, aim, shoot, and then move. I'm not usually running and shooting at the same time, especially not with one-handed guns. If I'm going to be running and gunning like that, it's going to be with a shotgun. And shotguns are two-handed guns in this game, not one-handed pistols, so... Travel light. While wearing light armor or no armor, you run 10% faster. I don't want my all-rounder to be restricted to light armor. And that's one more perk I'd have to add to the list. And then after that, we go up to level 6. The DLC perks are in a separate list. Hang on. Let's see. Dead money. Dead money. Do we skip Old World Blues? No, here it is. Okay. Let's start with dead money. In Shining Armor. Perk doesn't work. It literally does nothing. Don't pick it. Junk rounds. Shit. Light touch. While wearing light armor, you gain a 5% crit hit chance, and your enemies suffer a minus 25% crit chance. That's not terrible. Again, I don't know if I want to be bottlenecked into using light armor, but light touch is sounding good. The reduced chance to take crits is a bigger deal than me getting a plus 5% chance to deal them. Old World Gourmet. I get this one mixed up with Them's Good Eating as far as skill names go. I don't pick this one on purpose. And after that, everything is 10 or above. So, Honest Hearts, let's see. Grunt, the lowest level 1 for Honest Hearts is level 8. I can't use any of these. Old World Blues, the lowest is 20. I can't use any of these. Lonesome Road, the lowest is 12. I can't use any of these. So, I'm looking at Light Touch or Light Travel. Where is it? Do I have the level wrong on it? Hang on. Travel Light's a level 4. Okay, Travel Light or Light Touch? So unfortunately, even if I am cutting out both comprehension and educated, the fact is... the fact is we need to hydrate. Do it. Do it. Okay. The fact is that for the all-rounder, I don't have a level 4 perk. So I need to look into either Travel Light or Light Touch, because even when you respec, you can't pick some perks. Like, there's minimum levels in addition to minimum specials and minimum... It's the unfortunate thing with the way I want to build this character. I just can't see myself using most of what's available in the first 2 to 4 levels. Like, I gotta pick something. But, like, do I pick Cannibal just to get favor with the White Glove Society? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, yes, there's a GRA challenge. Yes, there's some flavorful dialogue with it. But Cannibal in Fallout New Vegas... here's why I don't like Cannibal in Fallout New Vegas. Because Cannibal only applies to humans. If you want to cannibalize other life forms, if you just want to be basically a predator, eating anything with meat on it to satisfy you. If you want to eat mutants, if you want to eat ghouls, you need to also get Ghastly Scavenger. And you need to repeatedly use cannibalism to get Dine and Dash, the perk. So Cannibal is just not enough in and of itself. Even if it is a level 4 option, I think that for it to be comprehensive, it needs to be a 2-level perk, courtesy of the other one, Ghastly Scavenger. Radchild, though. Radchild. Radchild's a level 4 skill. It's survival 70. That would be a big commitment at level 4. But it's a level 4 perk. And I'm struggling to find ones I think will stay useful. If I can offset the... Hang on, let me check. Let me check the exact thresholds for what happens at different levels of radiation. Radiation sickness, New Vegas. Come on, come on, come on. I don't need the radiation suit, I need the resistance thresholds. Okay. So, radiation is -1 endurance for minor. Advanced is -2 endurance, -1 agility. The next level is -3 endurance, -2 agility, -1 strength. Then the next tier is -3 endurance, -2 agility, -2 strength. So you go from losing 1 point in special, 2 points in special, 3 points in special, and then 1 point in special, and then minor, advanced, critical. The final tier of radiation is fatal radiation poisoning. You just die. You minus 10,000 HP. You don't come back from it. -1 endurance would give me, what is that, a -4 or a -6 in terms of total skills? Endurance I didn't calc. It only impacts 2 skills, but it does impact multiple stats beyond that. Poison, radiation, health, healing rate. But frankly, the only parts that are relevant for me right now are unarmed and survival, so that would be a -4. A -4 to unarmed and survival. -4, -8. Let's see. It takes out agility then. Agility would be factoring in another 4, so -12. -4 skill points to regain 2 health per minute. -12 to regen 4. How much is strength here? Strength is 2. Oh my Fucking hell. Okay. Minor. Okay. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is the how many skill points we're total losing based on the severity of radiation poisoning. Oh yeah, also for the last two, I'm losing 1 to 2 points in strength, so that's minus 10 and minus 20 pounds of carry weight total. So theoretically, moving from critical to deadly is the minimal loss of skill points when Radchild is factored in. But you're already at a minus 22 from critical, never mind deadly being only a 2-point worse. It's also, it's the carry weight loss. I don't know if I could go with Radchild. Like, I'm going to be trying to take both Strong Back and Burden to Bear. So with the other perks, I would have plus 100 carry weight. I'd like to get Pack Rat as well, so that would give me more carry capacity by making certain things lighter. It doesn't really give you more carry capacity that way, but making certain items lighter is functionally just giving you more room. Radchild. Okay. I don't see any other skills being reasonable for... What else would I pick? Like, I could be a lady killer in addition to a confirmed bachelor, but there's not that many female NPCs, and I don't think there's any lady killer exclusive dialogue options that I need. Are there some? Sure, absolutely. Do I need them, though? That's the question. I don't want Heave-Ho, I don't want Hunter, I don't want Intense Training. Rapid Reload, again, it's an option, but unless I'm specifically using single loader stuff like a 357 Magnum or a lever action shotgun, it doesn't come up that often. It can be flavorful for a cowboy build, but for an all-rounder, I don't think so. No retention, no swift learner, cannibal I've already put on there. I'm getting rid of comprehension and educated. No entomologist, Radchild is what I'm looking at. No run and gun. I've already looked at travel light. These seem to be the best options. Okay. Okay. I don't remember what I did to that one, so I'm just going to reload it here. Okay. It's tough. I'm trying to find a way to not waste it. Hang on, is Moore alive? Hey, Sora, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at chat. I'm looking at my damn spreadsheets. How are you doing? I'm glad to have you. I'm sorry. I'm getting tunnel vision. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been, I'll spare you the fucking sob story. My hands are messed up right now. I got both of them in casts, and I'm hoping I can get them both off when I go back to the doctor next week. But that's still a question. I can't guarantee it. I think I just have to go into the game and try it, see how things shake out. What are the requirements for Rad Child? Survival 70. Okay. Okay. Survival on this character to start with. Based on my current tags, survival here starts at 32. It would take 2 full level ups to get to 60. Because, again, I'm getting rid of educated and I'm dropping int by 1. So that's going to round down from a 15 point. Was going down from 17 to 15 because I'm getting rid of the 2 points from educated. And then 15 goes down to 14 because I'm taking a point out of int. So that's 14, 28. If I do Radchild on this, hang on. If I do Radchild on this, I need to tag Survival because I'm going to be going down by 10 when I drop both layers of Skilled. So that 32 is actually a 22. It might be a 23 based on the luck spreads. But still, 23 or 22, that's going to be too low for me to get in 3 levels. So Survival goes to 22. Let's assume 23. 23, I'm going to need a minimum of 47 points, assuming 14 per level. Even if I put everything into survival, I need to tag it, otherwise it's not going to make it. So I need to untag one of these, tag survival instead. I think I would have to untag repair or guns. I can't untag lockpick because that's going to drop down to 26 or 27 once I get rid of skilled. So I want to at least be able to do easy locks. It's a conundrum, okay. We're getting somewhere, though. I'm doing math. I'm thinking. Okay. Let me think. Think. So what I would have to do is, for my all-rounder, I would have to... This is not going to be a problem for my Diplomat build. Like, let me swap that around. My Diplomat build for level 4 is going to use Travel Light, 45. Versus Radchild, that needs to be Survival 70. So let me see here. Survival 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70. Can I afford to put 47 points into survival here? Because based on my thresholds, that 36 is going to increase to a 46 because of the removal of skilled. The changes to int and educate and comprehension don't impact that, however. So that would only take me up to a 46. I would need either a 47 or a 48. And I am talking about wasting exactly 1 skill point. We found it! We fucking found it! Yeah! That's where the 1 skill point gets wasted. Luck pushes that up to from a 36 to a 37. Oh yeah. So what we're starting with there would be a 22, and we would need a 48 there. We need a 36, and then we get the 22 increased to a 23 based on the luck thresholds. So then we go to needing 47, 36, 36 into 46, 46, 47. The 1 excess point is wasted there at level 4, early. We did it! I found exactly where the 1 point is wasted. So this means I can cut both instances of skilled. I can keep Wild Wasteland or Built to Destroy. I drop int by 1. I'm still high enough to make the Dr. O int check at int 9. There's no int 10 checks in the game. Int 9 is high enough with the implant. Int 9, luck goes up. So then we're going to have 3 9s in there. There's no 10s, but 3 9s is good. We're going to be good all-rounders for this build. Give me the numbers. Give me the numbers. Give me the numbers. Okay. Minus 185, minus 130, that's 315, 340, 25, 49, minus 49, 25, minus 24. Then we get the... Twenty-four. Where did we get that 24? 130, 185, 315, 340, minus 15, 25, minus 49, compensating for the int decrease. 24 plus 13 from the luck threshold means 11 skill books, average 3 points per skill books, no comprehension. We get 1 skill book per metal crate when we go to Zion. We go to Honest Hearts. That's 12 points. 1 point overkill. The 1 point overkill goes into survival. We get Radchild. We get permanent health regen as long as we're irradiated. It checks out. It fucking works. It only took 3 hours for a character I'm not even playing right now. But it works. I'll be fucked. Let me just mute my desktop audio for a moment. I need to check on something. Okay, I gotta wait for a 30-second ad on this, so I'm just gonna yap while I'm watching this. TCG Card Shop Simulator. I don't know what you're up to. Then again, I don't like sim games in general. I'm not that German. I definitely shouted them out, but it's not appearing yet. Oh well. I have a mod view. I can yell if I want. You know what I think? We've done enough number crunching today. Maybe we just raid more and we punch out. Because we've been going about 3 hours. So. So, I've done my share of yapping, and maybe we will work out another something with New Vegas. Just chill in game and yap for a bit. But for now, I think somebody else needs a little attention. With that said, I am about to bail, so I need something to drink, and I probably need some more anti-inflammatories. I will be back to yell at you later, but we fucking did it! I have numerical proof! I can do math! And I made the build work, but I can do math! Oh, it's all downhill from here.